Okay. So can I have some feedback on the discussions that we have this afternoon and also the patient management process? Let's start with you, Neil, based on the screen that I see here. You're on top, nasa top line. Ano kay?
For me, sir, what I really appreciate po about this discussion is how the scope of the discussion is more in general on how we should be approaching not just this patient in particular, but all patients that we see, not just with the breast mass, but in general, applying, especially po na patient ko yung sa lecture po yung BCR, RA, and how to decide on whether or not we should be moving towards using certain paraclinical testing based on our primary or even secondary diagnosis. Yung na-appreciate ko po, sir, is that this is our this discussion po, I think we can apply in general po towards our practice. So usually kasi for STDs, this we have a case, we have a patient, we have we discuss the usual, the management, the pathophysiology, etc. But for this case, I really appreciated how more wide the scope of the matter is po. Usually kasi my experience then with STDs, sometimes the topics they can get repetitive, especially when the diseases are very common, or the management or even the risk factors, for example, are just usually the same. So here for this one, I appreciate po the differing, the more larger, wider perspective, and the different in that part, the change of pace po. So our STD today.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Picoy, Bito, Sampayan,
B-boy.
B-boy.
B-boy po, sir, B-boy. Uh, Today, sir, because of this SGD and specifically with the framework that you have shared with us beforehand, my learning po is I was reminded again not to be biased in terms of dealing with patients, since as I observed lang, sir, during our history and PE, we have already leaned on the our diagnosis on with the basis of the biopsy, since it is part of the history of present illness. So looking back po, if we used to follow the framework po, we should always be reminded that we will be physicians in the near future, and we don't have access to these paraclinical procedures, and we should base our first impression on our findings. So I was again reminded because when I was in my med school back then, my mentor is the chairman in our department of surgery. He always remind us that when you put diagnostics as basis for your clinical impression, you are already biased at first because you are not practicing yourself as a physician in because you just rely on things when you can actually look for uh, what is uh, what is the patient is complaining beforehand based on your history and PE, especially on your physical examination. So I was again reminded by that po, especially during yeah the although I to be completely honest, sir, I it's really long answering the Olete G form, but I really learned a lot during answering, and it reminded me that um, a framework is there for us to be guided, and I really appreciated that we have come up to this SGD po. And our patient case, it is a right breast mass, and as we discussed in our SGD right now during our open forum, so we learned a lot, and parang naibalik ka yung napag-aralan namin sa physical diagnosis ng Bates po up to the clinical surgery rotations namin during clerkship po. So I really, really appreciated po this session with you po, sir.
Okay, who is your chairman?
Back there po si Dr. Elmer Habagat po.
Habagat. Surgery,
S-
no?
Yes po, surgery
Okay.
po.
Ermer Habagat. Ermer Habagat. Okay, I'll try to contact him. Uh, we have this, at least we have the same. Kasi I always teach the students, no, when you see a patient in your clinic, no, kung meron siya mga lab test, huwag niyo titingnan muna, no. Make your own clinical diagnosis, no. Then after your clinical diagnosis, I usually explain everything to the patient, what I see, what I got. Then after that, sabihin sa kanila, oh, may lab test kayo, no? Example sa thyroid, meron kayong pinagawa ng thyroid function test, di ba? Then I'll tell them, most likely normal siya, no? Kasi thyroid function test is rampantly done, no? Kahit na di kailangan, no? So, non-toxic siya. So I said, oh, normal siya, di ba? Oh, then sasabihin niya ng pasyente, tama ho kayo, doc. No? Ganon. So, I mean, what I'm trying to impress upon you is that do not look at the diagnostic test first. Do your own physical examination and your clinical data gathering. No? And after that, you talk to the patient kung anong diagnosis mo and then pasok yung lab test. Ano? No? Okay. So I appreciate yung chairman mo. Okay. So, but okay, on the side story lang ito, SWU was Southwestern University College of Medicine. I was a consultant doon in 1993, 1994 for your problem-based learning curriculum. If you don't know that, okay. Okay. Anyway, nag-traditional na sila, no? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Sige. Thank you. Tsaka yung Olete, sinabi ko naman Olete, mahaba talaga. It's for mastery of learning. Okay. Okay. Jose Julian Pascual.
Yes, sir. Siguro po aside from what has been said po, kanina it was mentioned na the SGD not only talked about the case itself, but as future doctors po, yung mga principles na pwede namin gamitin even in other cases such as pattern recognition. Kasi sometimes pag we're in the hospitals, parang intuitive na lang yung mga ginagawa namin. Hindi na namin masyadong iniisip yung mga why we're doing this and ano, parang kung ano lang yung nakasanayan, yun na yung ginagawa namin. So, I think this exercise was a good review. And then for the case itself, it made me realize how important it is not to rely on biopsy results alone, especially for this case na atypical papillary lesion. So, it can actually cloud your judgment kasi mm, ayun po, parang kung magbe-base ka lang dun sa results and not on your own PE. And then also highlighted the how decisions in breast cancer are not just clinical but also influenced by other factors such as resources like the limited availability of radiotherapy in many areas and overall it emphasized the importance of balancing ideal management with what is realistically available to patients in our setting po. Like for example, yung kanina yung may core needle biopsy tsaka fine needle biopsy. So kung kunwari hindi available, kahit mas preferred yung core needle pero fine needle lang yung pwede na rin yun kasi we assess yung mga options na available to our patients.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. So yung fine needle pwede. Actually, we started fine needle in breast in GS1, but when di namin na monitor yung mga residente on how to do fine needle, maraming non-diagnostic eh. Kaya lumabas yung core needle, mas maraming yield. So, naging trend yung core needle. But up to now, I still do fine needle in the in my clinic. No, okay. Okay. Nathaniel Rosal, May Rosal.
For me po, it strengthened po our fundamental clinical skills, particularly po in formulating a diagnosis based on a thorough and systematic history and po, and to always apply and individualize po the benefit, risk, cost, and availability po ng mga procedures.
Okay. Sige. Thank you. Leah Rose Santos, Maria.
Yes, yes, sir. So for me, my main takeaway po from our discussion po was, I guess I never fully realized how very algorithm and like guideline based like this institution is like in PGH. So sometimes we choose diagnostics based on like what's on the um guideline or the algorithm, and then sometimes we forget like the essence of why um of the test that we need, and why particularly this test is the best test. And so if we're taking into consideration like the fine needle aspiration versus the core needle, parang I can see naman na you still get the same results that you need um from a fine needle aspiration. So sometimes it's really case to case basis, also based on what the patient can afford, and what the essence of what we need is from that particular diagnostic, as well as from the mammogram versus the ultrasound. That was also very clarifying as to what particularly we should be focusing on, and why there's actually not that much of a need to do both all the time. So that's sort of what I uh focused on in this discussion po, sir.
Okay, thank you. No, so make use of the management framework, patient framework as the motherhood guidelines. Then pasok niyo yung established clinical practice guidelines. No, magagamit pa rin ninyo. No, okay, okay. Use the process muna. No, okay. Angge, ikaw yung last.
Sure. I was actually about to say the same thing. Pero in these cases po kasi, we know that there are already established guidelines, established our algorithm in using diagnostic procedures, but we cannot just strictly apply those guidelines to our patients, because we have, especially if those guidelines are developed in other countries, because especially if you apply, if you want to apply it here in our local setting, patients have different backgrounds, different financial capabilities. So it's important to individualize your decisions. We can use what we've learned, the VRCA approach, to know what's best for a patient, what yields the highest, and what they can afford in terms of the diagnostics.
Okay. So, may I ask you one question? My thinking is that if you want to implement all those guidelines to the letter, dapat libre na lang lahat para ma-implement na lahat. Pero pag may mga pasyente na hindi kakayanin, kung hindi libre, hindi nyo ma-apply yung guidelines, no? So you just have to use the patient management process, no? Which is not, hindi naman, it's still not, hindi naman siya low class, it's still at par with the clinical practice guidelines, di ba? Okay. Okay. So with that, I'd like to thank you for your kind attention. Sorry for the new change of schedule kasi nagpa-assist yung isang residente, no? Okay. So with that, we'll call it a day. Then we'll see each other if we can someday in PGH. I still go there once in a while. Okay.
Sir, before we end po, can we take a picture lang po for the attendance?
Sure. Oh, I always forget. Sige. Sige. Ikaw na kumuha ng picture, Angge.
Yes po.
1,
1, 2, 3.